Good day, good evening. How's everyone doing? Hope everyone's capitalizing on the big red day. Anyone catch a long side of Canada today? Hello, Cyril. How are you? That's where you can find me. I'm a trader coach, so I mentor people, and I also trade. Focuses on swing trading rather than day trading, scalping. Everyone doing okay? How many dollar bulls in the room? How many dollar bears? How many neutral? How many in the room? Anyone in the room? Okay, color. Okay, money. Terry. Okay. Well, I came in with a bullish bias, but I'm not that impressed. All right, let's start off with the Dixie. There's your daily on the dollar index subchart. Yesterday it looked like we were going to finally have a resolution to this triangle and breakdown. But the way the S&Ps closed yesterday, I was telling membership that I was skeptical of the dollar breakdown. Also, I have to get the camera going. So here we are yesterday on the verge of a breakdown, right? Only there were a few missing ingredients. And the one missing ingredient I'll come to, and remind me to go over the Euro-British pound pairing, because that was an indication that the dollar weakness did not have the integrity that it should have. I'm a believer that in a true bear move in the dollar, the euro should outperform the British pound rather than the other way around. Okay, so most likely because we're headed towards some type of breakdown in the Dixie money magnet. And if you look at this, we're only a few bad days away from taking out the May low. Even if the S&Ps take out the low from a week and a half ago, there might be some follow-through here. But to me, it looks like there's probably some destiny just to clean out the longs here. There's a technical reason why I believe this is possible. But can anyone guess why I think, and I'll give you a hint, can anyone guess why I think there's potential for a new dollar low in here, and it's based upon the RSI? I know some of you have been to my webinars before. You can hazard a guess, won't cost you anything. Wrong. The opposite. What kind of low is that? Keller, you've been to my webinars. Anyone else want to take a shot? That's a confirmed low. Okay, so there was no divergence, Keller. No, it is confirmed. Price made a new low, RSI made a new low. A new low here most likely won't be confirmed. Okay, but this was confirmed. So if you have a confirmed high or low, most likely you're going to get another one that may not be confirmed. Very rarely will a market bottom on a confirmed low or top on a confirmed high. Capiche? Can I get some whys in the room if people understand that? We had a new price low. We had a new RSI low. That's confirmed. Okay? Unlike this high, which took out this high, but did not confirm it by making a new RSI high to take out this high. Okay? Forget the numbers. My best guess is should the dollar fail here and take out this low, that we will not confirm it. And the reason we're probably going to have a new low is why? Because this low was blank. Fill in the blank. This low is a blank low. Archiga, what kind of low is this? Fernando, Chris, you say you've got it. What kind of low is it? It's not a lower low, although it is lower. What is this? What do readings and indicators do? They either confirm or don't confirm, correct? This is a confirmed low, which means the probability after a while is that we're going to see another low because this low was confirmed. Unlike this high, did not confirm. So a new high wasn't as likely because we had a non-confirmation. This will be taped. You could play it over again. It may take a few times for it to sink in. Okay? Here are the S&Ps. So the dollar, of course, had a bid with this type of day in the S&P and the Dow down 500, right? So the question is, do we hold above this low or retest it or take it out? And I think there's a possibility that we retest it, take it out marginally, and then I think there could be a bounce. And if that happens, that would be the opportunity for the dollar bounce to terminate and then resume the trend, make one more low, take out every last dollar bull who's been bullish the dollar since May, looking for the demise of the euro and everything else, and then have a dollar bottom. Well, let me ask you this, Money Magnet. Do you trade with stops? I know you're smarter than most other traders. Do you trade with stops? Okay. If you were long, where would your stop be on the dollar index? If you were bottom picking this, where's your stop? Here, here, here? You think there's some sell stops here? You think there's some sell stops here and here? Yes. Okay. Well, that's how it could make a new low. Let me ask you this, Archiga. If I made an economic forecast of a double-dip recession, how would that help you in the market tomorrow? Can you trade it? Timing is everything. You can have an idea, and you could be early. Been there. Okay. So, one interesting action today was in the bond market with the market collapsing. TLT is an ETF for the 20-year Treasury. You see this? What kind of high was this right here? See this RSI reading? What kind of high is that? That's a confirmed high. Okay? Then we move sideways and then rallied and made a new high, right? What kind of high was this? It diverged. It did not confirm. That's right. Then we had that bad bond auction last week, and now with the sell-off in equities, look at what we did. What do we have here? Your second non-confirmation. Sell your bonds. That's a danger signal. So this tells me we could be close to some type of bounce in USD yen. And I'll get to that in a minute. Any questions on the outside markets, on the dollar, the S&P, treasuries, before I move on? Yes. Okay, let's get to the pairs. Everyone see USD CAD? Okay, good. Okay. What I was impressed with yesterday, and I took the long here in Canada yesterday, traded the short, so I've been trading Canada well. Anyway, what was impressive to me was this whole advance that we had in Canada, right? Everyone see this? About a 600 pip advance. And here's the dollar index, which I just showed you, was on the verge of making new lows, right? We were a bad day away from new lows. What was Canada still doing up here instead of down here? And something else to write in your journals. After an advance, the less the market gives up, the more inherent strength it has. Meaning a market that only retraces 38% is a better buy candidate than a market that retraces 50 or 61.8 or 78.6. So this was demonstrating some pretty good relative strength to me. And we've come out of this triangle right here. Although I think that there's the possibility of a decent pullback on booking stuff right here. But I do believe that there are higher levels to come in USD CAD. I think we should challenge these highs and trade over $1 in the not too distant future. Any questions on USD CAD? And why do I think there could be a new high based upon this chart right here? I'll give you a hint. What kind of high is that? That's right, Fernando. So it's likely there might be another high up here. Maybe it won't be confirmed. Okay, so that's my take there. Any questions on Canada? Okay. GBP USD. Starting to, what kind of high do we have here? And here. And then what happened here? And this has been much stronger than Euro, right? Euro took out this low. These are 1 hour charts. See this low here? Euro took it out. Same low. Way above it. So, if I wanted to be bearish a dollar, which is my better long candidate? This or this? Something that's broken a low or something that's held a low? Which one would be your preferred long between Euro and GBP? That's right, Fernando. Now, if I wanted to buy the dollar, I was bullish a dollar, which would be my preferred short between the two? This? See this bounce? Or this? Which is your preferred short? This one? That's right, Colin. And it's important to diagnose those two things, because then if your timing isn't perfect, perfect example would be what's going on right now. you're not taking the same type of heat being short euro as you are cable. Cable looks like it can make a new high. Euro, maybe it just rallies back to resistance. So that's called correlation work. That's where you're comparing correlated currencies to each other to attempt to diagnose the relative strength, relative weakness, which then leads to the conclusion of what your preferred long and your preferred short would be between the two. Can I get some amens in the room that this is coming through loud and clear? Congratulations, Lopez. You're the only one who understands correlation work. What if I want to take a break, Money? You're quite the taskmaster. You can do that, Fernando. You could do that. That's quite reasonable. But we're trying to diagnose. We're trying to diagnose which one is showing more strength in the dollar pairs at this point. But that definitely is an option. So are we going to have a failing rally here in cable, or is it going to push to new highs? I'm neutral. This is what I'm waiting for to tell me direction of the dollar. This is the euro. Fernando, to your point, okay, when this pairing is going down, it's generally bullish a dollar because that means the euro is weaker than the British pound, which means it's leading to the downside. And vice versa, when this pairing is heading up, euro has more relative strength in cable. In my opinion, most humble opinion, this is a pure bull market with the euro outperforming the British pound. So yesterday, when the dollar was breaking down pretty good, this pairing was not responding. It was making new lows. So it made me suspect that the dollar was going to break down. How much is your service, Archiga? And can I open an account with you? I'm just kidding. All right. So euro, the key for me is going to be the spread turning. It's done nothing right yet. Looks like it wants to threaten these lows. So until I see this pairing do something positive, I have to stay friendly to the dollar. Yes, we were short commodity currencies today. In fact, anyone who knew that we were bullish Canada was also short Aussie and Kiwi. Pretty good trades. Congratulations to you. Good eye. What's your minimum? Okay, let's move to the yen because I talked about this last week. Now, I'm very surprised that we haven't made new lows in the yen yet, and I'm not saying that we can't, because you know there's a lot of sell stops here, right? Money under 76.30, 76.34, the 8-1 low was 76.29. So, I mean, we were, 10, 15 pips away from electing sell stops here. And with this carnage going on, so far they haven't been able to do it. And I know there are a lot of people looking for the 75 handle. I'm actually looking for the 74 handle. But I think that in here, there's too many bears looking for that 75 handle. And I'm open to us correcting this almost 400 pip decline after the intervention and shaking out some bears by taking out the buy stops here and here and here and clean out all the late to the party bears before we fail. So I'm looking for some type of correction to this decline. Could be 70, 78.40, something like that, right in here, possible. Well, yeah, I see their hand here. I see they spent a lot of money here. Okay. Right now it looks like every yen they spent was for naught, right? So is the BOJ supporting it down here? They better be, especially with what's happening in equity markets. So I think I'm thinking that they have enough firepower, and again, they may fail, and all we'll do is maybe get half of this here, but I think the short covering could be pretty dramatic because it's hard to find a bull anymore. People are tired of trying to bottom pick it and wait for an intervention that fails time after time. So I think that there might be some type of short squeeze here that will squeeze the short so hard that their eyeballs will be popping out of their head. Of course, the caveat is under 76.20, you have to say that scenario is off. As W.D. Gant said, if you don't learn how to change your mind, you won't have any change left. You guys ever hear that? Hi, Kingage. Okay, looking at a few other things. I can't chase the Swiss, but I believe that could be a bottom. I'd look for some type of wave 2 or B to set up in here and look at it as a buying opportunity. I'm not going to top pick it. I think Aussie is in trouble. Okay. Just like the S&Ps are in trouble. In fact, Aussie and Kiwi are correlating very closely with the S&P. But you can't rule out maybe one more push up to like 106.5 or so. 640, it's possible. I don't think we're going to see new highs in Aussie. I think that's over. But we are correcting this decline. And the same scenario in Kiwi. Kiwi even acting weaker. What kind of high was this in Kiwi? See this high? 69's a value. We had divergence, didn't we? At the peak. Definitely on the 4-hour time frame. So to me, this looks like a market in trouble, and eventually we're going to take out these lows. And in Aussie, we're going to take out these lows. This looks like a low rising wedge, and looks like we may have had a breakdown today. Okay, with the time remaining, I'm free to open it to questions. Anything I've covered that you would like me to clarify. Any pairs I haven't covered, I could take a look at it for you. Any questions about my methodology or where I work, go ahead and fire away. They have a proprietary trading program there where you can trade firm capital. You go through training. I mentor people in that program. Any questions? It's proprietary. It's a YPR MACD, Platinum MACD. Yes. Yes. Both buy and sell stops are hunted at obvious swing highs and lows. Does that clarify it for you? For example, you think there's some stops under this low in the British pound and this low? You think people who are top picking this have some buy stops up here? So the way to figure out that, I don't know. But many would be able to answer that. Tech heads. Can anyone answer Archiga's question? So you ask yourself, if I were short, where would I place my buy stop? Well, that's where everyone else is. They're doing the same thing. That's why we're going to have, that's how we know that there are a ton of stops in the dollar index, right? I don't know, the machines can do quite a bit nowadays, money. Quants, they're a lot of the volume. They could do it in milliseconds. That's what we're up against. So you have to think like them. Here's my philosophy on the market. The market will shake out as many participants as possible before the move they're looking for happens, most likely without them. Pretty cynical, huh? I think they already have. I'm a robot. I don't know. Hal, you're not being very nice to me today, Hal. I'm the robot from 2001 Space Odyssey, and they converted me into an FX trader. Okay. Well, that wraps it for me then. Okay. Yeah, not really. That's not why. But they're also paid for being right, Fernando. Brokers, yes. Brokers, it's all about volume. Banks can't just do a bunch of volume and blow out capital. Okay, well, let me know when you find out. Oh, there you go, Archiga. See, you guys are part of a very edifying community at FX Street that everyone here and what they put together is to help build you up as traders. And I wish everyone here that spent their most valuable currency, their time, listening to me today, that in some way I've opened their eyes to something new that they could consider in their trading to add value to it. The link to what? Oh, okay. From money. You're welcome, Fernando. Okay, everyone. Adios. Good hunting to you. Thank you, Kingich. You're welcome, Archiga. You're welcome, Keller. Aloha, same to you, Money Magnet. Gaza, cheers to you, buddy. Remember, don't just count your pips, count your blessings. You're welcome, Cyril. Be well.